only in the very direst emergencies. The pipe could potentially bring water from the border fence all the way into Hess's Bastion, which it then could be taken up to waterworks and used to distribute to the customers.
And you've said that the works are about 80% complete on the pipe. Can you give us a sort of brief overview of what's been done so far and what remains to be done?
Okay, the biggest significant piece from our perspective would be to bring it from the Sundial roundabout into Hess's Bastion, which is at King's Lyons Fuel Depot. That obviously is along Winston Churchill Avenue and Coral Road. So that's by far the biggest and most challenging piece. Obviously, we're looking at different ways now because of the cost of it and because of disturbing Winston Churchill and how busy that route is, particularly for traffic. It may just be better to potentially line the pipe. So that's a technology that we're looking at using. Of course, once that piece is done, we would still need to lay a small piece at the border fence, and of course in Spain would need to lay from their closest point to the border fence, which also hasn't been laid.
And in terms of the Spanish side, how would this water pipe work? Would it connect to mains? Would it be connected? Would it be filled up from trucks? How would that supply to this pipe work?
So when we went through the event at Powers Drive, we spoke to the water company on the Spanish side. They have a connection which is on the main road. They could bring that connection from the main road to the border fence in the same way as we could bring the connection from the airport area to the border fence, and it could be connected there. Those works would need to be done at the time under emergency circumstances, I would imagine.
You've mentioned that Spain itself, the Campo area, has been struggling with its water supply. So how likely would it be that in the event of emergency, they might be able to supply that water?
Well, I mean, it would have to be as and when and if it happened. I don't think Spain would want to burden itself with supplying us at all. But in an emergency, if we're talking about people not having water, then I think both sides, whether it was us to them or them to us, and potentially the pipe could work both ways, and it's not something we've looked at, but in an emergency it could be looked at. I think Spain would as cross-border communication always happens. In the event of emergency, anything generally can be done.
So you've highlighted there that the pipe could potentially work both ways, and given Spain's water crisis, would it be a possibility that Gibraltar could contemplate, if the Campo area has a crisis, supplying them with water?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's really feasible because of the amounts we're talking about. I mean, Spain is a much bigger territory. They use a huge amount of water in comparison to us every day. So in reality, us supplying what we produce is great for us, but whether or not we could ever supply them, I don't think that would be feasible, unless we built numerous more RO plants and so on and so forth.